are tuned in to your dose of positivity. I am Marlene Motivates, and as I always say, just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
And to gain further support, join my channel membership. Hey everybody, it's Marlene of Marlene Motivates, and welcome to your dose of positivity. I am your channel for all things positive inspiration, life lessons. So welcome to the channel. Give me 1 second, guys. So welcome to everybody who is here, whether watching live or in the replay. I truly do appreciate you being here. Today's topic is, it's one of those days. And we all have them, right? We all have those days where we just are having a rough day, some rough times. People are getting under our skin. We're going through a lot of things, but this is just to give all of you some encouragement to know that during these times where we're feeling out of sorts, aren't feeling well, or we're not feeling supported, that everything is going to fall into place. Everything is going to be all right. And it's okay to not be okay. That's something that I didn't understand a long time ago, that it was okay for me to feel sad. It was okay for me to feel discouraged. But the whole thing about it is have those moments, but don't stay there. That's really important. So let's welcome everybody who is in the chat. Welcome everybody. If you could please share this out and hit the like. I'd really appreciate it. Hey, Puzzle Pieces, how are you doing? Welcome. Got a member in the house. I really appreciate you being here. Hi, Key Kitchen and more. How are you? Welcome. Happy is Thursday. Yeah, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. I really appreciate you all being here. And we're going to get right into this discussion and talking about this very important topic. I wanted to cover this because some of the things that I was reading online is that there are so many people who are going through so much things right now, especially according to the government coming out of a pandemic, which I think that there are still some remnants of things going on. But after being isolated for such a long time, It does a lot for us mentally. It does a lot for us physically, spiritually, financially. It really definitely was a crisis. So I just want you all to know that if you're having one of those days or one of those months, one of those weeks, one of those years, know that you are not alone. For me, I find so much comfort in knowing when I'm going through something that I don't have to stay into a shell, into that hole. And I know that not everybody has a big support group or a big support system to lean on. But I just want you all to know that when we go through things or when you're feeling some type of way, when you're struggling with some things in your head, I want you to know that you're not alone. Um, there's so much comfort in that. There's so much importance in that, knowing that you don't have to struggle alone. You don't have to struggle alone. And there are some alternatives. There's some things that we can do to help us with that. And I want to talk about some of those things today. This is kind of an uncomfortable conversation. We always want to portray to other people like we're always okay, and we aren't. We aren't always okay. We we're human. We have feelings. We get disappointed. Life disappoints us. People disappoint us. Circumstances disappoint us. Failing health can disappoint us. Not having the means that we want financially. It's a lot of things that can cause us to feel down in here, to just go through so many things, and you just feel alone and isolated. You feel that nobody cares about you. And I want you all to have this thinking, motivators, that even if you have these hard times, these dark times, it's okay. It's okay to cry. And I say this to women and to men. It's nothing wrong with shedding some tears. It's nothing wrong with feeling sad, grieving. It's nothing wrong with letting yourself have those times. It's nothing wrong with feeling sad. It's nothing wrong with feeling discouraged. Hey, Shay Love, how are you doing? Welcome. I appreciate you being here. That's right. It's okay to not be okay sometimes. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I can say for a long time, I always thought that, like, we think sometimes that we always have to be perfect, that we can never feel discouraged. We can never feel sad. We can never feel disappointed. We can never feel lonely. We can never have the feelings of worthlessness. And it happens to all of us. And it may be you're having one of those days where you're feeling that way. You're feeling very vulnerable, very unloved, uncertain about yourself. You feel saddened, and we all go through it. And there's nothing wrong with having those times. Let yourself have that. Don't hold everything inside. Try to keep it to yourself. That's why I wanted to have this discussion, because the amount of people during this time period, with the financial situation, with the way people are getting along with their relative, the amount of people who are unaliving themselves, when all it takes is knowing that you can feel that way. It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay that other people make us feel frustrated. It's nothing wrong with it. Don't try to put yourself on this perfect standard, because if you're always try to seek perfection, you will always be disappointed. And we don't want to do that to ourselves. Let's be reasonable motivators. Let's be honest with ourselves and say, today I'm not having such a good day. Today I'm not feeling, the way that maybe I should. And I'm going to let myself feel this. And if I want to be angry, ask yourself those questions. Why am I angry? What am I angry about? Get to the root cause of the pain, of the struggle, of the stress, of why you feel unworthy. Is it a person that is causing you to feel that way, or is it your own self? Okay, so let's get into this discussion. Let me put up my first point. It's one of those days sometimes when we are feeling mentally fatigued. Like mentally, you're just not, it's just not right. When we go through so much things that you're carrying, all of these things that you're constantly think about, what other people are thinking about you, it does affect your mental health. It stresses you out. I can say for me, it stresses me out. I'm trying to always have to deal with other people and what they think and what do they like, and people just keep talking, and people are so negative and mean spirited, evil. The things that people will do and say, it can be very hurtful. It can affect us here, and it can affect us here. It can cause us to have like a broken heart syndrome. We just feel just so discouraged because sometimes it's the people that we were leaning on, the people that we trusted in, let us down and hurt us. And it may cause you to have some sort of mental breakdown. Just know that the people are human just like you. They make mistakes, but we're not excusing the behavior. Somebody is not treating you nice, especially those of our relatives. If they're not showing you appreciation, if they're just treating you like a doormat, being very disrespectful to you, these are the times where we could be having one of those days because maybe we're not speaking up for ourselves like we need to. Motivators, let's have those conversations. Show that we respect ourselves. We have to say it to ourselves too. I respect myself. And while I do not always like confrontation, I must confront the issue or the problem, or it will continue. See, sweeping things under the rug and ignoring things that people do and say to us will not make it any better. Actually, it makes it worse. And we can't make people do right, but we can speak up for ourselves and show how much we love ourselves. I love myself. I respect myself. And because I love and respect myself, I'm not going to allow others and their projections and their fears and their doubts to cause me to have mental fatigue. We have to check those things. We have to check those people and not allow others to cause us to have this mental fatigue. So, what are some of the things that we should do in order to cope with this mental fatigue? It means that we have to give ourselves some breaks from other people. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just walk away or distance yourself from negative people, evil people. Another thing is stop telling people what you're doing. Stop telling people your business. People can't talk about you so much if you don't tell them. So don't fuel the fire. Don't fan the flames. Keep your own personal business. And not that it's going to stop people from talking about you, because people will talk about you whether we like it or not. But don't give them more than you need to give them. And even if somebody asks you what's going on with you, and all kinds of things, and they want to get into your business, it does not mean you have to respond. And that means your relative. It means anybody. If you feel uncomfortable with the conversation, or you just don't want to divulge your personal private business, you don't have to. We give ourselves a lot of mental fatigue because we are putting ourselves on this high expectation, especially when it comes to our relative. We put them on this high horse into thinking they're entitled. They must know everything about me, and they don't. The only person that you have to deal with is you. Respect your own self, motivators, and don't let other people and their projections, their fears, their doubts, their worries, what they like about you, what they don't like about you, cause you to have a breakdown. We have to learn to walk away from those people, not listen to them, and not tell them our personal business. Let's see what I missed here. Yes. Hey, Tamika Davis, how are you doing? Welcome. Got a mod on deck. I really appreciate you being here. Hey, Donna, just being real. Mod on deck. Welcome in. Yes, keep your personal business to yourself, especially in the workplace. Coworkers can be backstabbing. Oh, you said a mouthful right there, Miss Donna. You sure did. Um, and I found, and I know that many of you have found as well, that coworkers, it's like they try to pretend that they're our friends, right? And they know so many things about us, and they try to get in your business, and they want to know everything about you. So be very careful about, especially in the workplace. Mum's the word. Keep your business to yourself, and just because they ask you, don't mean you have to tell them. You don't have to hang around them. You keep it a working relationship. Just whatever has to do with the job, and that's it. Okay? That's it. You don't have to do any more than that. So let's go to point number two. I have 4 points today. It's one of those days. And we feel that way because we're physically exhausted. And I know that so many of us motivators, we work so hard. We're busy doing so many things for ourselves and our relatives that we just feel exhausted. So when you're having one of those days, don't feel bad about taking a day off. Take a PTO day. Take a personal time out for yourself and stay in that bed, rest. And don't forget to take those vacations. Don't just say, oh, they need me at work or my family needs me. No, you need yourself, motivators. You have to take care of you. And if your cup is not full, you're going to be physically exhausted, and it's going to affect you mentally as well. So make sure you're getting the rest that you need every day. And I know that a big issue can be having insomnia. Many people suffer from insomnia. I am one that suffers from insomnia as well too. So we also, if we find that we cannot rest at all, please go ahead and check with your doctor to make sure everything is okay with you. We want to make sure that it's not just we're just saying, oh, I've been working too hard, and it could be more than that. So take care of yourself, motivators. That's vitally important. You get one you. So the one you that you have, take care of yourself physically. And when you do that, you're going to feel good mentally as well. Hey, Word, how are you doing? Got a member and a mod in the house. How are you doing? Happy Thursday. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, everybody. And we all get those times where it feels like just one of those days, and you just like, oh, I just leave me alone, everybody. And you just want to pull the cover back over your head. Everybody has those times, those days, sometimes those months. Maybe it could be you're having a bad and tough year, and it's okay. But you have to find out the reason. Why am I feeling this way? Am I putting so much on my plate that I can't handle? We do have to learn how to be more balanced. I say it to myself as well. A lot of times I'm not being balanced. I'm requiring too much of myself. I'm trying, seeking for perfection. I'm trying to do too much when we have to learn as well. Learn to delegate, learn to ask for some help, get some support, um, and make others do something. Don't try to do everything on your own. Ask for help. And if you have children in the home, make the children do things, clean up after themselves. Let's not take on more than we need to do, because you're just adding more to your stress, and you're going to be more and more physically exhausted. Okay? Let's not do that to ourselves. Yes, Donna, exactly. He does not. Marlene, in the past, I had coworkers that had crossed me. I put it on God. Oh my God, they lost their job. God protects God protects his praying children. God does not like ugly. I'm telling you, that is one of the truest statements, Miss Donna. Um, People, I've had it happen to me as well. And I'm so sorry that you were bothered on your job. Nobody deserves that. And I had a coworker, they tried to do everything to try to get me fired. And guess who was the person who winded up getting demoted? So they were a manager, and then they winded up being just a regular employee just like us. So telling you, People think sometimes when it comes to management that they're like what do you call it? Like they're above everybody else, and they're just a human being just like us. So yeah, and when things like this happen to us, like what happened to Miss Donna and myself, try to talk to somebody else that is outside. We don't have to put up with mistreatment. Sometimes we're getting those what you're feeling like overwhelmed and stressed out because somebody is treating you disrespectfully. So even if it's on a job, everybody has a higher up. Don't forget to use those tools. Go to your human resources, especially if you feel like you're being harassed or you're being treated unfairly and disrespected. You don't need that. If you feel like you're overworked, then you have to put an end to it. Nobody is going to be able to stop things until you stop it. So I'm sorry that happened to you, Donna, and to everybody else too. Make sure you speak up. And if you're a person of faith, make sure to tap into your spiritual source. Okay. So when you have one of those days and you just feel so stressed out, what are some of the things that we can do in order to cope with the stress? We can get out the house, go for a long walk, go to the gym, spend time with your friends, your true friends, not just people who claim to be your friend. Talk it out, talk to somebody, but never bottle it in. I think that's one of the things that happens a lot of times to many of us. We keep it in, or we keep saying we're okay when we're not, or we're not taking our break, we're not getting the adequate rest, we're overwhelmed, you're doing too much. So we do sometimes need to learn to sometimes just, I have to tell myself to, Marlene, just sit down sometimes, just sit down and let it go, leave it alone, you can do it later. So don't overwhelm yourself, motivators. When you feel stressed out, take a deep breath. you know Maybe you are putting too many things on your plate, you're trying to do too much. So try to maybe just do two things a day instead of 10. Let's not stress out ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves. Okay, it's very important. So when you're having one of those days and you feel stressed out, use some of the breathing techniques. Use Tap into your faith. um, Spend time with a loved one, get out, get some rest, or maybe it may be you need to take a vacation, but do what you need to do. Don't let yourself be stressed out for far too long that it becomes a health problem and your body starts to break down. We don't want to do that. If it's one of those days, that can happen to everybody, but if it turns out to be months or even a year you're feeling this way, it's time to put some tools in action to relieve yourself from stress, because we all deserve to feel calm, at peace, not stressed out, not taken advantage of, not being a doormat for other people. No, you don't deserve that. Nobody deserves it. So find some tools and talk it out, everybody. And this is the fourth point. It's one of those days sometimes we just feel so overwhelmed by life, paying bills, difficulty, stress, health problems, and the list goes on and on. There's so many things that can cause us to feel overwhelmed. But what are you doing about it? Are you just saying it will go away and you just ignore it? Or are you finding some tools that will help you to cope with your life? I think it's so important for us to not just say, I'm overwhelmed or this is what I have to do. No, you deserve to be at peace. If you feel overwhelmed, stressed, there's always something that can help us. And also asking for help. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. And not just saying it to anybody, but the right people who will support you and help you get to a solution. Because I think that that's what's important, getting to the bottom of it and finding a solution. Why do I feel the way that I do? Is it a health problem? Is it something that I can do? Everything is a choice, everybody. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by your life, this is when you have to say, I need to do something about it. So those are the four top points that I had to share with you guys and helping us to talk about is one of those days. So I'm going to add my co-host here, Miss Nexie. Welcome to the show, Nexie.
Hi, Marlene. Hi, chat.
Hi, how
Hope
are you
everybody's
doing?
having a good day and not one of those days.
Mhm. Yes.
Marlene, I feel that the past 3 years probably have been the hardest for all of us. I feel that a lot of people have had issues, a lot of issues surface up or resurface, right? Being cooped up in a home, not being able to do your regular daily things, took a toll on a lot of people. Um, Me personally, I went through one of those days, like you said before, one of those months, one of those weeks, one of those years, right? Because I was, in the forefront of the pandemic. Um,
Mhm.
but I knew that I wasn't okay. I was having, after everything settled and we had everything under control, I found myself having one of those days every day. So I had to seek help. I had to go and talk to, we were provider counselors at the hospital. So I had to go get myself um, okay again. You know, I had to go and talk to someone so that I can have a better understanding on what just what happened and what was going on. So I had to go to therapy again, and it helped me a great deal because PTSD is real. Even if you're not in front of it every day, what just happened to us created a lot of PTSD for me.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
finding myself. Go ahead, Marlene. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just agreeing with you and saying yes. Those who anybody who was in the forefront, like had to go and be in person, giving customer service, really has went through a lot, and so many people are affected, and they don't even know the reason why they're having all of the problems and feeling the way that they're feeling because they've never talked about it. They just think, oh, I just feel sad or stressed out, and it's more than that.
Exactly, and having had therapy before, even I fell into that category that you're talking about. I didn't know what's going on, but it didn't occur to me to seek the help, right, that I needed, that I knew it could help me. But there was so much pain and sorrow around us that, I started, like I said, having one of those days every day. And after I seek the help I needed, I came to remember the coping mechanisms that my therapist had taught me before, and I started doing that. And I found myself too, in which, I was becoming more recluse. I didn't want to go out, even on my days off. I will stay home. I didn't want to go to the store. I didn't want to do any of the regular things that I used to do. I became accustomed to the past 3 years. So I've been getting myself out a little bit more, doing more normal things, than I used to before because once you're cooped up, once your head is there, it's very hard to get out of it.
Yes. I know what you mean, and that's what I was that's why I started off at the top of this discussion, sharing that that mental fatigue is something that is real. When your mental health is not right, it affects everything. If whatever you tell your mind, whatever your mind is at, that's your seat of motivation. So if your mind is saying I'm not okay, then the body follows, and then your spirit follows. You just feel so discouraged, and you don't want to do anything. And it's more than maybe I'm just saying I'm sad. I think that was a very important conversation. I was talking to a good friend of mine the other day, A lot of times we think that we're just sad or we're just stressed out, and we make all these excuses, and it could be more than that. So we need to ask ourselves, like, how long have I been feeling the way that I've been feeling? Is this just a month, a day, or has this been going on for months? So it could be that you are in a depression mode and maybe need to talk to somebody.
Exactly. And yesterday, I know that maybe people don't know, but yesterday I became a grandmother for the first time. My daughter had her baby, and I couldn't be there with her because the hospital had restrictions. Still, they have them in place of COVID because of the babies and the pregnant mommies, right? So I couldn't be there for her. I couldn't even go visit her because of the restrictions. I had to wait until they had a room, and I was so annoyed, and I was so sad, and I was going back to, oh my god, it's because of COVID, it's because of COVID. I was okay in a way, but then at night I couldn't go to sleep. I couldn't go to sleep. And this morning I made a phone call to my therapist, and I said, this is going on, this is what I'm feeling right now. We talked for like 30 minutes, and I'm back again. I got my cool back.
Okay. Yeah, but and that shows. I'm so glad that you did that, because a lot of times, like, I know for myself, I'm guilty of it. When I'm going through something, I just said, I'm just feeling a little sad, or I'm just having a hard day. And then when
Mm,
I really stop to think about, like, how long have I been feeling this way, and I'm like, this has been a few
yes.
weeks I've been feeling this way. So yeah,
Thank
you need
you.
to
Yeah.
find
No,
out why.
I understand, Marlene. I'm guilty as well, but I'm learning, that I don't have to be like this. I don't have to stay like this. I have to ask, I need to talk to someone. I have to make sure that what I'm feeling is not going to take me back to where I was at a year ago. I don't want to get back into even though believe it or not, Marlene, I thought I was okay dealing with the pandemic.
Yeah.
I thought I was cool. I was like, oh, I got this. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm in the forefront. I'm kicking butt. I'm doing great. I look at me. I'm this lioness. Hear me roar. Well, the lioness crashed probably 7 or 8 months ago. I
Okay.
couldn't get out of bed one day, and I was like, oh, there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
But we need to seek the help, and these topics that you bring to us are so important, Marlene, because a lot of people do not have the outlet, or sometimes the knowledge that they can seek help even for the smallest little thing. It doesn't have to be huge. You don't have to have a mental problem. You don't have to be in bed for 6, 7 months before you seek help. You need to, if you can, and we're not promoting, right, any of this, but if you feel that you need to talk to someone, you don't have to wait for it to be something, big, something. It can be something acute. You just need to seek the help that you need. And sometimes it can be a friend, it can be someone at your church, or a professional. I go to a professional because I feel that they're less biased than a friend will be, or a family member. So I seek that help because I feel that it's better for me. But going back again to you, I really appreciate everything that you bring to the forefront, because we need to hear about these topics. We need to have a way to express what we're feeling, even if it's in this medium, that social media. It's something that, at least in this moment, we can get something out.
Right. Right. And I just wanted to have this conversation to let everybody know that you could be thinking you're okay, just like Nexi just said. You feel like you're okay. You feel like, I'm good. I'm handling things well. Everything's good. And then if you find like you're restless, you're not sleeping like you used to. I don't know what your sleep amount of hours that you sleep at night, but maybe you're a person who could sleep 8 and now it's 6, and then it's 4, and now it's 3. or are you find yourself, really upset and like barking at your loved ones, and they've done nothing to you. If you're not coping well with stress, we have to ask ourselves, what is causing me to not be able to cope with the stress right now, and then get to the root of finding out what am I going to do to make myself have that peace and, the calm that I need in my life. It's really important to do that. Hey, Estad, and hey, Realist One, welcome. So, like Nexie was saying, it's so important to talk to someone. Um, and it doesn't matter who it is. Just as long as it's somebody that you can trust. And if these things are not possible for you, a therapist, a counselor, a spiritual advisor, there are 1-800 numbers that you can call. I'm going to put it in the comment section when this live ends. There are free hotlines if you need to talk to somebody. But don't keep it in. I don't want anybody here to be a statistic into thinking I'm so strong, and then one day you have a breakdown.
Yeah, exactly, Marlene. And I know that sometimes, we, even if we're having one of those days, sometimes we bottle things up, right? We know we're having a bad day. We know that the next little mishap that happens, we're just gonna explode. We're just gonna upload on everybody. But I feel that it is important that, if you cannot, let's say you cannot have you don't have someone to talk to at that moment, it's important. I think you brought this up before, to have a little journal, write it down exactly what you're feeling, how your day went, and so that next time you're feeling like that, you have a reference point to go back and see, oh, this is how I was feeling the last time. But at least you're gonna get it out, because all of
Yeah,
us have those days, all of us. Like, I'm having one of those days now because I'm feeling like I wasn't able to be there with, my daughter. And I wish I would have been. She wanted me there, but I couldn't. And I started to have that, you know,
yeah,
but I had to change my mindset. As soon as I talked to, this, my therapist, I started feeling, okay, how can I do it? How can I get to the point where when I go see, my baby and her baby now, I'm not going to be in that regretful mode, and so,
yeah.
yeah, we all have those days.
And I also think it's so important in having this conversation. We also have to learn what our triggers are. That's
Mm-hmm.
something that I learned when I was in therapy. That there's certain things that, like certain things and certain people, places that can trigger us into certain things and make us like automatically be in a bad mood, or something, a smell, something can trigger us into something, and we don't even realize that we are going through all of these things. So know your triggers, everybody, and that's why I always say it's so important to write things down. If you find that you snapped at somebody that you love, or you just start crying uncontrollably, or you feel overwhelmed all the time, or so stressed out, or you can't sleep, it's a good practice to start, having a journal and writing out some of the things that you have inside. And it doesn't matter, woman or man, both men and women have lots of stress in their lives, and both men and women have to learn healthy ways to cope with life.
Exactly. Marlene, is so true. A lot of our male counterparts, have got therapy at work. Of course, the ones that wanted to. The other ones you can't make, because you cannot make anybody do that, right? You cannot make anybody seek the help they need or get the help they need. But a lot of us, what we started doing, for those that were not getting it, is we started having like group sessions before, every shift, right? And we started talking about the different things, the different sounds or smells or things that triggers, like you said, those little triggers that will make our day better or make our day worse, because it can be both ways. But we started doing that, like having a powwow before every shift, at least to help the ones that were not getting the help they needed. Outside of work, you know for my family members, I gave them certain tools that they could use. But again, it's up to them, to get the help that they need. We cannot really make anybody do that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yes, and that's so true. And I'm so glad that you said that. We feel like we're so strong, right? Men
Hmm.
and women, we feel like we're so strong. Women will wear all these hats and this, your mommy, that, and that. And then the same thing with men. They got all, I have all these things. I'm father. I'm this. I'm that. So we always think that we're so strong, but everybody has a breaking point. Everybody has those days where it's like, it's a no today. And it's nothing wrong with having those days that when you feel that way, if you can and you have that PTO time off or you have a few vacation days, it's nothing wrong with saying, today, I just need a mental health day and I'm calling in.
Hmm. Yes, it's a matter of fact. I think I told you this. I took a week off, just because I was having one of those weeks, and I called work and I said, you know what? First, I said, I'm going to take a couple of days off. I need time, like me time. I need to reboot myself because I'm feeling like, I'm sorry, but I was feeling like a robot, doing the same thing over and over and over, like I was pre-programmed. So I had to ask for those 2 days. I mean, I didn't have to ask. I said, I'm going to take those 2 days, right? And then I extended them, I'm going to take a couple of more days off. And then I said, you know what, just block the entire week because I want to take this week just for me. And even though, Marlene, I did nothing but just, stay home, catch up on some reading, had, lunches and dinners with my kids, enjoy my son, just watch TV, well, movies that my son liked because it's never my choice. But, I just did nothing. And that on itself, refreshed me. I feel more now when I went back to work, I felt so much better. But now that my baby had her baby, I told them again, block my schedule. I let you know when I'll be back because now I'm a grandmother. So I need to be available for when my baby calls me crying that her baby's crying. Thank you, Marlene. Thank you for that. I'm very happy.
Yes, I'm very happy for you because that's a life change. It's a change in your life,
Hmm.
for your family. So we have to know when, especially us that are hard workers, and I believe that almost everybody here, all of you motivators, are hardworking people, and you're not lazy. But also, there is a thing that as overworking. I had my therapist and my good friend and mentor told me, said, Marley, you need to sit down because I'm definitely the person. I do too much. And she's like, what? She's like, what's the last time you had a vacation? If you can't say right away, when was your last vacation? She said, it's been too long. I was like, it was, so,
1999,
yeah. So yeah, so we have to have these conversations, and it's so important for us to know that even if it's just that you just say, I'm taking off next week Friday, give yourself I always say, for me, for my mental health, I have to take one PT personal day off every pay period. So I will schedule a day, like I know, like if I'm working Monday to Thursday, like I'll schedule, like not next week, the week after, I'll take off the Friday. That is, it's good for my mental health, because while we work and there's bills and all of those things, if you're not in a good space to have the money, what is it worth? You have to be in a good space to be able to use the money that you have. We got to learn how to enjoy life as well.
that is very important. You have to make sure you take breaks in between busy schedules because, like for me, I'm a mom, I'm a head of household. I'm the one in charge of all of the bills and everything that goes around here, but at the same time, I'm in charge of me. And the thing that I had noticed is that, I was taking responsibility and in charge of everybody else's well being, healthy mind, healthy body, everything in order at the house, but I wasn't taking care of the most important person so that these things can get done, which it was me. So I had to, well, I didn't have to, somebody, like a therapist told me, hey, 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 little Miss Robot, you need to stop. And I didn't even realize what he meant. I was like, what do you mean? You don't want me to come? You don't want me to? No, no, you need to take a breather. You've been working nonstop for this past 3 years. Remember, it's already under control. Don't, you don't have to do what you're doing because, like I said, I know I have all these responsibilities, and you have a point, Marlene, when you say you have to take that time. So I start learning to block certain weekends, and I'm coordinating them because before I was doing them whenever, right? So now I'm coordinating them that when my kids go out and, have fun with dad for the weekend, that's when I take my day off. I mean, my weekend off
Mm-hmm.
because I can have me time peacefully then.
Yeah.
Not that my son bothers me or anything, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
can have actually me time without being interrupted.
Right. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations, because it gives us ideas. And there are times where we may not be able to afford to have the time out and do the luxuries, but it's nothing wrong with, turn your phone off and, put on some nice soft music, take a hot bath, read a book, whatever it is that you like, but have something that will cause you to de-stress. And a lot of times, especially those of us who are parents, um, you have so much things on your plate that you're at work, and then you're at home, and it always feels like you're working. So when is your downtime? So I had to put me on the books, like, just like with everything you have to do, grocery store, this, pay bills, put in my hour and say, this is Marlene's time, and then I go out and do something for me. And I think that that's highly important, because if
Yes.
I don't take care of myself, what can I be for my loved ones and job and everybody else? Hey,
Yeah,
East and
exactly,
well,
Marlene.
hey, East and Wellness. Thank you for being here. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Nexie. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, no, I'm sorry about that. No, I was gonna say, yeah, you're right. And you know what, Marlene? You don't even have to spend money. You know what I do when I have that weekend off? I get one of those masks, the ones that you on the little envelope thingy you open, you wash your face, you put your little mask on, you get
Hmm.
moisturizer, put it on your hands, put gloves, turn on a good movie or a series, whatever you want, and just sit there for 50 minutes, enjoying yourself, moisturizing your feet, your hands, your beautiful face. And I spend what, $10 the most?
Yeah.
And I
Put
have
put
me
on
time.
put on my favorite thing is to take a nice bubble bath, put on
Hmm.
my fluffy robe, put my hair up, and
Hmm.
just I'm eating something good, watching a movie, and I can just deep breathe. You know, Uh,
Well, for
nobody
me, that
bother
time, for me, that
nobody
time
bother me.
is, yeah, exactly. And I put the do not disturb sign that I have made. It has a little skull, and it has an X across the skull's face. So do not disturb. It's dangerous. No, but I do that. Like I take a nice shower if I want to, really quick, because I want to get to the, moisturizing my hands. I put those gloves on and then my feet and put my little, plastic booties on and then my mask. And I
Yeah.
sit there for 50 minutes watching a movie. I no interruptions, just me, myself, and I with a nice, cold drink or a nice hot coffee, whatever it is. Light up my candles,
Hmm.
to get all of that and just breathe. Like you said, just have you time because Like you and I, who are head of households, we need to be okay, you know?
You have to feel like one of the things that I learned before I went to therapy and before I had healthy tools. I didn't have healthy tools before. It was just like you just go 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 like you're a robot, constantly. I would just wake up, jump off the bed, run in the shower. I'm always running. That if you're always running, when do you slow down? When do you fill up your cup? When do you plug into the source so that you can be here already, so that you can be here for not only yourself but other people? And I was never recharging. From the time I woke up to the time I go to bed, I was going, and that's not good. That's a disaster for having a mental, physical, spiritual, everything will break down if you don't slow down.
Exactly, Marlene. And you know, when you're overwhelmed, I found myself being less caring, and I don't mean this in a like, oh my gosh, she left everybody and that's it, she doesn't care. No, but I felt myself to the smallest thing that my kids will come and say to me. I'll be like, okay, and oh well, she this happened, and I wasn't feeling the things that were important to them. I found myself saying, okay, she's gonna be okay, don't worry about it. And then I had to like check myself and say, what am I doing? What am I? They're here worried about something, and but because I wasn't, like you said, recharging and re-energizing myself, right? I was just being monotone. Okay, that's going on. I'm dealing with a lot here, so what's the big deal with her? That's exactly what I was saying, and I was like, what is wrong with me? Why am I answering like this? But it's because I was still in that mode. Marlene, I wasn't taking, like you said, I was like the Energizer Bunny, right? Go, 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 go. You lose yourself in that process.
Yep. And the whole thing about it is, I know it doesn't sound like something nice, but a lot of times we can lose ourselves in our relatives. And it's like
Yes.
you love them, but my therapist taught me a healthy way to say, but you can love somebody that will make you be in the ground. It's like, how you love them like that, or are you gonna love them and have some boundaries and say, from this time to this time I'm unavailable, and they may not like it, and she said, and who cares? They'll learn to deal with it. They'll learn to deal with it. You have to set boundaries and you have to speak up for yourself. And one of my things is I learned I had to start doing something for me, going for a walk, bike riding, skating, whatever it is that is
Mm-hmm.
your way to escape. But you got to get back into doing the things that not only make you feel physically healthy, but also mentally. When that is
Mm-hmm.
recharged, you connect, and your spirit and your energy starts thriving. I think.
Yeah. And is that, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, Marlene, but is that, thank you for multitasking at work. He's listening to us and multitasking. Thank you for
Yes.
that.
Oh, I didn't see it. Thank you, Estad. I appreciate it.
But it's true, and you notice, Marlene, once you do that, once you balance out, because it's a process, right? It's not something that you learn because your therapist told you today you're going to start implementing it. I mean, the stubborn person that I am, I'm like, I don't need that, I'm cool, I'm okay. No,
Yeah.
no, 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 it's wrong. He's wrong. I
Yeah.
got this. But once you start implementing the tools that they have given you to get back to your normal self, you feel complete. You feel like, okay, now I'm me again. Like, what was that other person inside of me? You felt like you have another personality in you.
Hmm. And I have to acknowledge this comment from Donna. She said, I love candles to relax. I rescued a kitten over the summer. She is all over. My candle days are over. I ordered some battery powered ones. That's okay. Like I was saying, as long as you relax, as long as you find something that will refuel you, recharge you, your mind and your spirit, whether it's reading, exercising, jogging, I don't know whatever hobby, gaming, whatever it is, that's something that will cause you to relax. You have to do something because what I was doing is all work and no play, right? I have to go. I'm going to work. I'm going to work. I'm going to work. I'm going to work. And it's like, and all you're doing is working and paying bills. That's a recipe for disaster, and also will make you miserable because you have no life. You have to etch out a balance. While I work, while I have to take care of home, I also need to have my time where I can have some fun, hang out, talk to some people outside of my circle of my relatives, and that's balanced.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true. And but to get to this point, we need to understand and realize that all of us have one of those days. All of us have those days, and we need to acknowledge them, we need to accept it, and we need to do something about it, because if not, then the people that it's around you and the people that you love end up paying the price for you not taking the time to have some me time to fix whatever it is that is going on with you.
Right, right, and I'm glad you said that, Nexie. And it's so important for if we don't see it, sometimes we have to have like our support people, the people who really care about us, that will say, "Hey, when's the last time you went out to eat?" Or they know what you do, whatever it is that you do. When's the last time you enjoyed your hobby? You did X, Y, and Z. You have to also have people that will check you and be like, when was your last vacation? When did you do this last? You have to have people that will check you in that too, because we're not always balanced in saying, oh, okay, I think I need to rest, because we always think we could do more.
Yeah, or you have to have those people, Marlene, that look at you and say, when was the last time you had your hair done? Really? Look at those toes. When was the last time you get a pedi? Don't look at me like that, Marlene. we need to we need to have check and balances, right? Because you're so busy. Those roots are all the way down to your ears, right? And you don't even realize how much you need to have someone like that. That when you're too busy to even look at yourself in the mirror the right way, that person brings you back to that mirror and say, "Look, get that hair done now, woman, or those toenails. What's going on? Go get them done." Hi, Leticia.
Hi, Leticia. And also with the males too, make sure you're getting your personal care. Take care of your skin and your hair, and keep yourself up to par, up to date. Ladies too, to make sure you're taking care of your body. Like, we don't want to just let ourselves go because we're busy with life. Gotta take care of ourselves. And I feel like this is a good point in the show where we're going to go over to the members only.
Thank you, Marlene, for having me. Thank you, chat, for coming. I appreciate you guys very, very much.
Yes. Thank you so much, Nexie, and to everybody who is here in the chat. I'm so grateful to have conversations like this, and I'm so grateful that I can use my platform as a space to encourage, to motivate, and to inspire. So anybody who feels like they need a break, anybody who feels like they need a rest, they're overwhelmed, they're stressed out, take a break, and we eliminate the toxic people and behaviors, and get right back on course where you need to be, so that you can feel good about you. That's what's important. And if you are having one of those days, talk to somebody. Don't suffer in silence, everybody. Love yourself. It's so important. Thank you guys so much for being here. And to all the members, we're going over to the members only. Hit the link, it's on the community tab. And to everyone else, I'll see you guys tomorrow, Friday. We're going to have an amazing topic. And it's going to be about love bombing. Who's ready for it? Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it. forgive me. I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? I forgive me. I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? Ooh, hey, yeah. Yeah.
And I have to acknowledge the super chat from Puzzle Pieces. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And pause, please, when the super chat hits.